Nothing just launched two new smartphones, the Nothing Phone 3a and the Nothing Phone 3a Pro. Now, there's a price gap of 7,000 rupees between both the devices. So you must be wondering what's the difference between the two, which one makes more sense and which one doesn't. I'll tell you everything, so hit the like button and let's get started. First of all, in terms of design, there's a lot that has changed from last year. The first thing you'll notice is that the back pattern of coils is now changed. Earlier there was some symmetry to it, but now it's as random as my midnight thought. It's there, but what's the point? But once you look past that, you'll notice that the camera module has changed too. 3a looks like an extended camera module from 2a with one more camera in it, but 3a Pro is just pure flex, and rightly so. I'll come to that later. By the way, these new phones are slightly bigger, slightly thinner, but a lot heavier than last time. Now, there are two reasons for it. First, the glass back, which is good as it's more scratch resistant than plastic, and second, the added camera lenses, which is also good because we are not talking about 2 megapixel macros here. These are some real lenses. The in-hand wheel is also good, especially for 3a, but for the 3a Pro, it's pretty much like the X200 Pro. You do feel the weight distribution to be messed up because of the heavy camera module, but as you use the device on a regular basis, you get adjusted to it and you don't mind it anymore. Apart from that, the frame is still plastic, but the phone offers a slightly better dust protection, and there's now a new button as well, which by the way is not a camera control button. Nothing calls it the essential key. I'll talk about that in the software section. Overall, I like the subtle design changes that Nothing has done in these phones, but the transparency and glyph lights are kind of losing their essence. From what it looks like, I think they're just coming in the way. And now, if I talk about the display, it's a slightly bigger 6.77-inch 120Hz AMOLED panel on both the phones with 3000 nits of peak brightness. But when compared to Phone 2a, not a lot has changed. It's the same display resolution, same bezels, only the brightness has been bumped up. And yeah, the display protection is also changed from Gorilla Glass 5 to Panda Glass, which is not exactly an upgrade. See, I don't mind subtle display change in 3a because they are not increasing the price a lot. But for 3a Pro, they should have at least given 1.5K display or maybe LTPO or both. Now, even though the display didn't change much, the multimedia experience definitely got better. I say this because the speakers on both the phones are now louder and fuller compared to 2a, which is nice. Let's talk performance now. Both the phones are powered by the same Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 processor with up to 12GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 256GB of UFS 2.2 storage. I know, the specs don't sound impressive with Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 UFS 2.2 storage, but if you compare it with last year's phone, it's definitely an upgrade. But at the same time, if you compare it with same segment phones, it just doesn't stand out. See, for 3a, 7S Gen 3 is still fine, but for 3a Pro, I think Nothing should have given a more powerful processor because the competing phones are just way too ahead. And it's not just the performance, there's one more limitation of the processor, which I'll talk in the camera section. In day-to-day usage, both the phones breeze through everything, be it while regular usage, multitasking, or continuously using the cameras. Both the phones handle it all quite well. Only while gaming, I could actually see them struggle, but other than that, it's all fine on both the phones. Okay, it's time to talk about the biggest difference between the two phones, the cameras. First of all, the Phone 3 gets the same 50 megapixel main sensor as last year, a new 50 megapixel 2x telephoto lens in exchange for a downgraded ultra-wide camera, and the front camera is still a 32 megapixel one, but it's now a Samsung sensor. And the 3a Pro packs a newer 50 megapixel main sensor, a 50 megapixel periscope lens with 3x optical zoom, and a 50 megapixel selfie camera as well. But the ultra-wide lens is the same as the 3a. Now, I clicked a lot of photos from both the phones, and what surprised me the most is that the main camera of both the phones take equally good photos, even though they are different sensors. And for the ultra-wide camera too, I was expecting it to be bad, but Nothing has done some amazing work with optimizations here. The photos actually turn up good. Of course, the details are not as much as the main camera, but you do get some good photos. When it comes to telephoto, 3a takes some really good shots, especially in the daytime, but 3a Pro has a big advantage with 3x periscope lens, which is more detailed, which can let you go closer without losing details. Plus, it also performs better at night as it comes with OIS. And yeah, there's also 15cm minimum focus distance, which lets you take some wonderful macro shots that you obviously can't do with the 3a. In portraits also, the difference is very little, but the edge detection could have been better on both phones. In selfies, the Pro does have better details than the non-Pro, but it makes you a bit more pinkish as if you're blushing. In terms of camera features too, both the phones have exact same features. For example, these new camera presets look really cool. In fact, you can even add a LUT as a camera preset, which is something I have never seen on any other other smartphone. There's also auto tone, which applies vivid tone whenever required, so you won't have to change every time you click a photo, and you also get a Vivo-like bokeh effects as well. When it comes to the videos, there's good stabilization and details on both phones, and you can switch between all three lenses up to 1080p 30, but there's one big issue. Yes, both the phones are meant to be camera phones, but they're still stuck at 4K 30, and that's not the problem of the cameras, that's actually the problem of the processor. Yes, Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 doesn't support 4K 60. Again, for 3A, it's still okay, but for 3A Pro, I think nothing should have gotten with a better processor. In terms of software, both the phones come with Nothing OS 3.1 based on Android 15 with the promise of 3 software updates and 4 years of security patches. Now, nothing being nothing, the phones are as clean as Monica's apartment, so no bloatware or ads. Plus, you get some really cool features too. First of all, there's this new Essential Space, which is much more useful than I first thought it would be. This new button that I showed you at the start, you just have to press and hold to trigger it, and it'll take a screenshot of whatever is there on your screen, and you can also record a message with it. Let's say I want to book tickets to this concert, and it's going to go on sale tomorrow at 6 PM. So I'll just press this button and set a reminder like this. Double pressing this button will open up the Essential Space where everything is organized like this. It's still a work in progress because some cool features like camera captures are yet to come, where you can just point your camera anywhere and trigger Essential Space. There will be Flip to Record too, where you can just flip your phone to record the meeting and it'll prepare the minutes of meeting for you. Other than that, there are some new features like Smart Drawer, which neatly organizes all your apps just like iOS. There's also this new power of Verify, which asks for a password every time you shut down your phone, and you also get a new lock screen clock style, which are more fun and customizable. In terms of battery as well, nothing treats both the phones equal. They both get a 5000 mAh battery, which is the same as you get on 2A, but the charging speeds have been upgraded a little. In my usage, I was getting around 5 to 6 hours with light to medium usage, which is pretty much the same as I got on my 2A. Lastly, in terms of connectivity, both the phones get Bluetooth 5.4, Wi-Fi 6, dual SIM and NFC support. There's no eSIM support and no fast Type-C port, but 5G connectivity is good enough, and I didn't experience any issue with Jio or Airtel. Now, if you ask me, I think the Nothing Phone 3A is a better value for money option than the 3A Pro, and I say this because 3A has the same performance, same software experience, similar design and build, and same set of camera features. Plus, the camera experience is also not too far from the Pro, and it costs way less as well. The Pro could have been better if it came with a better processor, but having said that, I think Nothing has done some good job with the cameras this time. So that's everything about the 3A and the 3A Pro. I hope this video helped you understand the differences between the two. If it did, press that like button, and if it did not, you can ask your questions in the comments and we'll answer those. By the way, we are also working on a full review of the 3A, so subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.